Hey, Skylar here from Changeyoucanwear and Sojourn Fine Jewelry. And today, let's make some 22 karat gold investment jewelry. This scrap 22 karat gold comes from US gold eagles that I make into rings, and this is the leftover here. What we're gonna be doing is heating up this ingot mold to make sure it's nice and preheated before the gold goes in. Alright, now I have a nice 1.5 ounce 22 karat gold ingot. And you would think that it would be annealed and soft and ready to go after casting it, but actually it needs to be annealed directly after casting to get it nice and soft and pliable. And when you start to roll this thing down into square wire, you're going to want to pick one side of the ingot and make sure it goes into the rolling mill the same way every time. One way that I brought it in, it continues to go that way until I anneal it again. Roll it down one side, turn it sideways, do it again, and then give it about a quarter turn down, and then keep doing it like that. And then we'll re-anneal every time we move the metal about 30%. And what this annealing does, it's going to soften the metal back up from all the work hardening we've been doing. Every time you move the metal, it just gets harder and harder and more brittle. And then re-annealing kind of resets it back to a nice soft state, and it'll let us keep going farther and farther with it. And now once we've got it down small enough on the rolling mill, we're gonna taper one side of this, basically square wire now, and get it ready to start being pulled through a draw plate. This draw plate that I'm using is a tungsten carbide one, and it's really important if you're gonna buy a draw plate, get one of these guys, because the tungsten carbide actually polishes the wire as you pull it. And also notice how I'm starting it off. I kind of give it a twist one way, and I give it a twist the other way, and then pull it. That way the wire is nice and stuck in the draw plate. It gives a nice even pull that way. And generally with 22 karat gold, every about 3 or 4 pulls, I'll stop and re-anneal, and then continue on from there. So we'll just roll it onto there and get a nice spring going. So we have that, we'll start cutting the spring apart into jump rings. And now what we need to do is just take our jump rings and start putting them all together to make our chain. And these are parallel pliers. They work really, really well for closing these jump rings nice and evenly. So we're gonna go ahead and line them up real good. And once they're lined up, then we can go take them over to the arc welder. With the higher carat jewelry like this, I like to use the pulse arc welder, and the reason being is I don't want any solder contaminating this piece. This piece, when it's going to be finished, will be pure 22 karat gold through and through, no solder whatsoever. and there's something about that that I particularly like. But feel free, if you're making these, soldering's a lot cheaper. These arc welders are kind of expensive, so you can definitely solder these together instead. Once you have everything together, we're going to go ahead and re-anneal and get it soft for this next step. And now we're going to take our parallel pliers and just elongate these circles a little bit. That's going to give us the final shape that we're looking for. And notice how I take the seams and put them in the edge of the elongated piece. That way the seam, no matter how good it is, it's always going to be a seam there, but it'll be hidden between the links that way. Once we finish that, we'll put one more loop that's not squished on the end, and this is going to be used for the toggle that we're going to use to fasten the bracelet when it's finished. And the other part of this toggle is just a straight bar and another little small jump ring that I put on the last link of the bracelet. And then this ID tag, is all it is just another piece of that wire that we didn't use, and I flattened it down the rolling mill and then looped it around one of the links. And a quick run through the magnetic tumbler. And then a quick polish on the polishing wheel with some green rouge. Then clean it all up in the ultrasonic. And finally steam it. We're finished. Alright guys, here's the finished piece. I hope you enjoyed watching how it was made. Check out my website, Changeyoucanwear.net. These should be up there probably by the end of the weekend if they're not up there yet. Just a really awesome way of taking some investment, and it can be something that you can actually wear and enjoy instead of a coin that you put away in a safe somewhere and forget about. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.